When the gods fail to stop a massacre, humanity is forced to pick up the scalpel. For over 1,000 years, medical knowledge in the West was a stagnant pool of ancient theories and religious dogma, where healing meant balancing invisible humors or praying away a curse. But you cannot pray away a bacterium that liquefies the lungs. The Black Death was the brutal wake-up call that dragged the human mind out of the dark and into the cold, clinical light of observation. Before the plague, the human body was considered a sacred vessel, and cutting it open was a spiritual taboo. But as the traditional remedies of rosewater and vinegar failed to save millions, a desperate, gritty pragmatism took hold. Doctors realized that the ancient texts were useless against the black boils of the dying. For the first time, physicians began to prioritize what they saw over what they were told. They started performing frequent autopsies, driven by a morbid, urgent curiosity to see exactly what this invisible killer was doing to the organs inside. This shift from why to how was the silent birth of the scientific method. In the height of the panic, the concept of quarantine was born not from a theological decree, but from a raw empirical observation. If you keep the sick away from the healthy, the dying stops. It was the first time in history that human beings successfully used organized public health measures to combat an invisible enemy. The failure of the miracle forced the creation of the university as a place of inquiry rather than just recitation. We stopped asking which saint we had offended and started asking how the water was flowing and where the waste was going. Can you see the pivot point? The Black Death forced us to admit our ignorance, and in that admission lay the seed of every medical breakthrough we've ever had. But while the mind was waking up, the continent's wealth was being completely rewritten by the hands of ghosts.